Psalm 93.
Right in the middle of Psalm 93, the psalmist says, "The floods have lifted up, O Lord. The floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their waves." I was ministering at a Bible conference out in the Pacific Northwest, and I watched the ocean as it moved in. The last day of the conference, it was raining and stormy, and it looked as though the ocean waves were right at our back door. The floods were lifting up their waves, and the floods were lifting up their voice. You could hear it, and you could see it. What do you do when you find yourself threatened by the floods of wickedness all around you? Well, you do what the psalmist did. He looked up. He saw God's throne. Psalm 93, verse 1, "The Lord reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. Thy throne is established of old. Thou art from everlasting." No waves, no floods can disturb the throne of God. You see, our problem is we don't look high enough. We see the floods and we don't see God. We see the waves getting higher and higher, and we don't lift up our eyes by faith and see the eternal, established, secure, strong throne of God. But that's not all. He not only saw God's throne, he heard God's testimonies. Don't listen to the sound of the waves. Today you're going to hear a lot of threatening sounds. Don't pay any attention to them. Verse 5 says, "Thy testimonies are very sure." He not only saw God's throne, he heard God's testimonies, and he said, "I can trust the Word of God." This psalm sort of reminds us of Peter when he was walking on the water. Peter got his eyes off of the Lord, and he forgot the promise. Jesus said to him, "Come." That's all Peter needed. He should have said to himself, if Jesus says come, I can come, because his commandments are always his enablements. Today, when you see the flood, lift your eyes higher and see the throne, and open your ears to hear the Word of God. The Word